Ave, ambulature te salutant.
We're the history hikers and we'll be hiking the GRP Pic Saint-Loup, more specifically the one of the villages du Pic, and you can tag along. Let's go.
I think this stick was in my face.
Our 3-day hike started in the town of Saint-Mathieu-de-Tréviers. We were following the GRP Villages du Pic. A GRP is a Grand Randonnée de Pays. They are generally loops and shorter than their big brother, the GRs. Our first day would be roughly 16 kilometers long and would see us scale the Pic Saint-Loup itself, as well as visit a stunning historical site. It wasn't long before we saw the first signs pointing us towards the castle of Montferrand.
That over there is where we're heading. There's a castle on top. Wish us luck.
Time to put your money where your mouth is, Jente. This is not the way, but as a treat to you guys, we'll try and get there anyway. Just a little detour.
Yes, this is not part of the actual GRP route. The little detour would turn out to be a big time-consuming endeavor, but we are getting ahead of ourselves. The Château de Montferrand is located on the lower ridge of the Pic Saint-Loup at an altitude of 400 meters. The climb up to it was an immediate challenge, but it did warm us up in the cool November morning.
And this part isn't easy.
The castle of Montferrand has its roots in an ancient Roman stronghold, but would only be mentioned for the first time in the 12th century. During the crusade against the Cathars in the early 13th century, the castle was confiscated and entrusted by the Pope to the local bishop. It would remain in their ownership until the 18th century, when it was dismantled under the orders of Louis XIV.
Finally, we've made it. Still quite a climb to go though. Jesus. Here. Up here. Okay. Get in. It does say here that access to the castle is restricted. They are restoring it or something. We need to stay in the lower castle. And so we shall. We will return one day, hopefully, to make a proper video. Oh.
Since 2017, an ambitious project is being undertaken to preserve and secure the site and make it safely accessible for the public. We can only applaud their efforts and will keep a close watch on the progress so we may properly visit the castle in the future.
So we can't go past this point. Recently a tower collapsed in Rome, injuring or killing, I'm not sure, one worker. And it made me think that we take a lot of risks when visiting some of these castles. Some of the ruins we have shown were very dangerous indeed. So
We're looking more dilapidated than this one.
yeah, so maybe, yeah. We'll sit this one out, I suppose, and we'll come back. There's a bit more we can explore. So this was the Château de Montferrand. It looks very, very cool. Hope we can return here one day and give you a proper video, because this is too big, too cool to not visit.
Since we were doing the hike, named for the Pic Saint-Loup, it wouldn't be fair not to climb to the summit. From the castle there was supposed to be a trail which would lead us there directly, following the cliffs. Though this trail is not included in the original GRP route, we did find it on plenty of online maps. We decided to extend our little detour, even though it was strange that none of the local hiking routes seemed to include it and no arrows were pointing towards it. All we could do was follow the trail before us and hope the encroaching foliage would not constrict us.
Oh, voilà. Merci. Merci. Wacht. Oh. Oei, dit is het
Ja, maar het zit niet echt alleen in mijn, niet alleen in mijn trui. Het zit ook in mijn broek. Oeh. Ah, it's not made. This backpacks.
The path is shown by the yellow dots. Are they our friend or not? Who knows? Still going strong with these yellow dots, though also a red dot has entered the fray. Let's hope it does not lead us astray. Almost fell. Another yellow dot. And another yellow dot further on. Oh, this makes it really easy to follow. Much easier than before.
We followed the yellow dots and hoped that they would lead us where we needed to go. And luckily, for the time being, the trail wasn't too technical. Yet.
Without realizing it, the yellow dot, the trusty old yellow dot, has led us straight into the intended path, which we wanted to take from the castle, but which was too insane there. So yeah, all is good in the world. We're gonna climb the Pic Saint-Loup. See, I follow the yellow dots too literally and just go straight up vertically, but Jente is smarter than that. She loves the yellow dots like I do, but she still thinks of her own independently. Woo. Jesus. Mother in Christ. Yellow dot. Oh my god. Now it's getting fun. Now it's getting fun. Whoa. Oh my god.
The views. They are coming.
Amidst the beautiful views, we are hit with a dilemma. Are we really going to scale this right next to the sheer rock face?
Or are we going to go back, which does not seem like a better alternative?
We chose wrong.
Did we?
We chose it.
You chose. I'm still sitting here. Well, we survived that. We're not yet at the top, but we survived this bit.
Not sure you appreciate just how difficult this terrain is. Look at these stones, holy ships. It's so sharp. All of it is so sharp. All of it. It's good to see how far we've come.
Damn.
So yeah, we were on the most insane and technical route we had ever undertaken until that date, and we were carrying heavy backpacks. Turning back didn't seem like a good idea, as it would be too much of a detour on the detour we were already on, and it wasn't any more safe either. All we could do was press on and boulder our way to the top, hoping we wouldn't suddenly find ourselves rimrocked. That 1 kilometer climb took us over 2 hours. Our relief was enormous when we finally reached the summit and the chapel du Saint-Loup.
I would almost like to burn a candle here, that we're safe.
Thank you, Jesus. Well.
Pretty interesting altar stone.
We made it to the top. We shouldn't have done that.
No.
It was way beyond our skill level.
And I'm sorry we took you with us.
If you do this grand randonnée, stick to the path. Stick to the path. Visit the castle and
Don't
go back.
follow the yellow dots.
Yeah, in the end, the yellow dots were our downfall. Yeah. Well, thank God we didn't fall, but Jesus Christ, it was very hairy. It is 2 o'clock, almost.
Yeah, something like that.
We still have 10 kilometers to go, so should be fine. But anyway, we've got lunch. What's on the menu?
Chicken goulash soup!
Ooh. Bon appetit. I'm hungry. We have learned our lesson and we will take the normal route down and not try and follow the cliff edge once again, because going down seems a lot worse than going up.
Now that we were off the mountain itself, we hoped to make good time as we were a little bit behind schedule at that point. Unfortunately, the path was so rocky and uneven that the going proved slow.
We made it up the mountain at least. It's 3:30. Still at least 7.5, I think.
To go.
Let's crack on and haul ass. Found a random tombstone and
Person died here in 1881.
sad. It's not even that dangerous. There could have been 2 tombstones on top of the Pic Saint-Loup for us.
No.
Those 2.
I don't want to hear it.
No bad vibes. Not in this history hikers vlog. Chilling in the name of. We were there. Up there. Aha. Though we were in a bit of a time crunch, these last 7 or so kilometers were quite memorable. The trail was easy to follow. The sun was radiating the most beautiful golden light over the rugged landscape. We were still on a massive high after conquering the Pic Saint-Loup, and best of all, we were still going strong and pain-free. Mas de Londres, the next town. I lost. Look at the window. It's pretty. It's our old houses. There's the église. Here's a
Martin
little library.
Scorsese, After Hours.
Old Romanesque church. That's the entrance. Oh. Steps. Oh. Okay.
The town of Mas de Londres is a pretty little historic town and is one of several we would encounter on the road. Maybe that is not surprising, as this is of course the GRP focused on the villages of the Pic Saint-Loup region. We would end our day in Saint-Martin-de-Londres.
You feel the charge again. Celebrate! The light doesn't get much better than this. Great way to end the hike. We're almost there.
Life can be better than this. Look, it's little sheepies. Sheeps. Ah, sheepies.
You probably can't see it, it's beautiful. The Pic Saint-Loup is caressed by the last light of the sun. Can I zoom at this thing? Let's see. Truly the final stretch. And back in nature, yippee! We've arrived in our lovely Airbnb. Nicely decorated, very cozy. I realized we haven't really talked about the GRP much yet. So it's the GRP Pic Saint-Loup, and more specifically the one with the villages du Pic, sorry. Villages du Pic, so those are the villages related to the Pic Saint-Loup. Today we went from Saint-Mathieu-de-Tréviers to Saint-Martin-de-Londres, where our arrow is located, of course. And it's 3 days, so tomorrow we'll be going to the bottom here, Murle, and on the last day back to Saint-Mathieu-de-Tréviers. Arrive tomorrow, probably 18 or so kilometers, but nowhere near as much of a crazy ascent as we did today at the Pic Saint-Loup. And yeah, we gotta do something while we're chilling. Maybe you don't know it, but the history hikers are big readers as well, the history readers. And this is what I'm reading these couple of days. And because it's only 120 pages, I can only read 40 days each day.
40 pages. He said 40 days, but he means 40 pages.
Sorry. So 40 pages. It's by Dino Buzzati. I've never read anything by him. These are a compendium of 7 or 9 or so short stories. But Dino Buzzati has written a very famous book called The Tartar Steppe. I couldn't find that book, but I did find this one. It's in Dutch though, but yeah, the writer was in Italian, so can't really read Italian, so a translation in Dutch is fine, I guess. But yeah, so far so good. I read 2 of those short stories. And it was the first one especially was really interesting. It was about hiking, so also kind of fitting. I suppose tomorrow, after our hike tomorrow, Jente will diverge the book she's reading. Anyway, this is us. Good night, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye. So join us in part 2 of our hike around the villages of the Pic Saint-Loup, where there will be less crazy ascents, but still plenty of history and more of the beautiful French countryside to enjoy. See you then.